Hey, I'm Brent Greathouse, and welcome to Meaningful Capitalism. I'm here with Carl Moore.
Hey, today we are going to talk about what it's like to live inside of a mobile home community. So, some of the things about living inside of these communities that, to me, has really surprised me as we started investing in this is how many tight-knit groups of people move in. I remember in that first community, there was a lady and she lived there and her son and daughter lived there, and this house came available for sale, and you and I were supposed to go down there 2 weeks later to look at it and buy it. And we scooted our trip forward 1 week, and before we got there, the lady that her son and daughter-in-law lived there, she sold it to her best friend even though she didn't own it. She went and found the old owners and the best friend. So people are moving in to these communities and living in close community with people that they are related to and that they already have good friendships with. At one of our communities, one of our maintenance guys, him and his wife live there. She works remotely, so she's kind of got her office on one side of the home. He's more of a hands-on guy, so he's actually done some stuff for us. I know he does contracting. I know he worked at the country club. And so he moved his mother-in-law in and was able to care for her after she broke her hip. And then one of our managers, actually, her daughter lives still with her because she's 16, but her son, who's about, I think he's close to 30, him and his wife and their 2 kids live on the next street over inside the same community. And so we're seeing people come to these communities and not just like a regular neighborhood. I mean, they're bringing the people they want to do life with together.
I think it's really amazing, like, to see people, like, come and like support each other and like pour into each other's lives and be there to watch, kids grow up and help when there's needs that arise. I mean, it's really an amazing way to live. And today we live, there's so many individualistic kind of, I'm going to do me and you do you, and I don't really ever see anybody outside of
Right. Well, they talk about it takes a village. And I see that so often. There was another guy, and he came to us and he said, I want to buy 3 brand new homes, and I want them all side by side. My son's going to live in one, my daughter's going to live in the other, and I'm going to live in the middle. And I thought, that's crazy. That's bizarre. But there's kind of an attraction to it. But one of the things that I think has to change for somebody to consider what life inside of one of these communities looks like is, what did our parents think about a mobile home community? And what's the generation for us and right behind us think about a mobile home community?
Yeah, it's night and day difference today versus what they kind of started out as. Back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, this was kind of a new trending thing that was that had never been done before. A home on wheels, and something that's smaller, that's affordable, and so it kind of broke into the market and has morphed over the decades into something that's I see it as it's getting better and better as things go. Used to, you would go into a mobile home community and you would see things that tended to get really run down, really, the picture that our parents have in their minds is like, old cars broken down in the front with, trash everywhere and, stuff that's, just not really clean and well kept. It doesn't feel like a neighborhood. It feels kind of like sort of packed in like sardines. But what we see today is totally different.
I feel like a word difference here is like a trailer park.
Yeah, exactly.
A mobile home community.
Yeah.
And those words, I feel like almost it shows this chasm that you're talking about.
It redefines what is possible.
Joe Dirt.
Yes. And, when you see, so today what we're seeing is a massive influx of young marrieds and 30-somethings that are just starting off, kicking their families off, and they're wanting to move into something that's affordable, and they're in a point in time where things are just, sky high. I think you mentioned in a previous podcast that the average single-family home in Texas is about $350,000. So you got to have, that's not something that a newlywed couple is likely going to be able to jump right into. And that being said, they're still wanting a neighborhood that's safe, clean, affordable. They're still wanting something that they can have, different amenities in, that they can enjoy, walking trails or, a basketball court or a little splash pad for kids to run around when it's hot outside.
Right. Yeah. And that's one of the things that we've tried to build here. And I was thinking back, I saw one of our invoices from one of our first mobile homes that we bought from Jessup Housing there in Waco. And so they moved that house out there. And for the purchase of the house and the full mobile home setup, one of the things, I don't know if our listeners know this, we don't make a lot of money off of selling homes because we want to run good communities. So we would sell that home for about $56,000, everything all in. And the price from February of 2020 when I saw that invoice until today, that identical home is now $78,000. But if you were to go online and search for that to buy it from a manufacturer or from a dealer, those are right at $100,000 to buy that mobile
Sometimes
home.
more. I've seen some.
But you still have to buy your air conditioner. You still have to set it up. Yeah. You still have to buy the land. You still have to make sure you have water and sewer connections. And so you're looking at $120,000, $130,000 just to buy one of these. And so when people are coming to communities, they're almost able to cut off 40-50% of those overhead costs to live in a community and move in. And
here's the thing. The dealers wouldn't be selling those unless it was something that people could, it's not too big of a bite. I mean, but honestly, being able to buy some homes in a community that's already set up and it's already there, it's already ready to go, and these are nicer, newer homes, and get it at that lower price, it's a no-brainer.
Right. Well, and I think, one of the guys that lived in our community, he ran his own business, and I remember sitting talking to him, and he said, yeah, I'm saving up. He said, I knew I could move here for less, and I've been saving up, and I'm going to buy land.
Yeah.
And I remember when he finally bought that land, and he had all those things, and he went to move his house out, and I just remember getting to shake his hand and congratulate him. Hey, you've made this happen. And, in that way, you can buy this home, move it into a community, save money, and move it into your dream. You don't have to spend all that money at once.
It's true.
And so some of the live numbers that I researched and found that are really preventing people from going to stick-built homes and that are keeping people thinking, how can I just survive today? I don't know what the future holds. Interest rates keep climbing. Every time I open the news, it talks about inflation. Some of those inflation numbers are crazy. One of the ones that I thought was most interesting, and I think they were trying to say eating out, but it specifically said food at work and school. And it's up 95%. I went and got a hamburger the other day. It was $10.
Yeah, what's the deal with all of this?
Fast food.
It's about 8-9% inflation. No, it's sometimes in some instances you're seeing 95% inflation.
So eggs are up 43%. Butter is at 33%.
Wow.
You want to save some money? This is not one that's a family-friendly option, but pet food's up 15%. That's great. That's more than if you buy your food at the store and bring it home. It's only up 12%. So your dog's costing you more than your kids. Bread is at 14.8%. Milk's at 14.5%. And then energy overall, just to keep your house warm, to keep your house cold, to cook on the burners is up 17.6%. And so they're talking about this inflation being 8%. But that averages in so many other things. But when we just break it down to some raw numbers, these are the things you can't avoid. You know, you can avoid buying something new or taking on a new car payment, or, you know, I love upgrading my phone, but I'm like, you know what? My phone's going to be good for another year because I don't want to take on additional costs. But there is a plus side. Sporting events are down like 17%. You can get into a concert for less. Smartphones are down about 20%. So, you know,
if it balances out there, I'd say mainly because they're having trouble getting people through the doors.
And I think that's exactly it. So, you know, this affordability, living inside of a community, is something that's real and something that we're seeing people in droves bring in stories where they're bringing in friends.
Huge trends. You know, in a time like this, in fact, we saw something similar to this back in 2008 where people were in just droves, just moving into manufactured housing communities, and now we're seeing the same thing again, and it's a smart move.
Absolutely.
It's a very smart move. And
plus you
and
get to pick your neighbors.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, that's so great. Well, I'm Carl Moore.
Brant Greathouse, this has been Meaningful Capitalism.
Thanks for watching.